That black one. Shoot the black one.
I think I just hit that one.
I think you did.
He's getting up.
Yeah.
Take him.
There you go.
Got him. Yeah, Tom.
He's dead.
Get him again.
He is dead.
That sucker. You got a dead one?
The more voters learn about Sarah Palin, the less there is to like. As Alaska governor, Sarah Palin promotes the brutal and unethical aerial hunting of wolves and other wildlife. Using a low-flying plane, they kill in winter, when there is no way to escape. Riddled with gunshots, biting at their backs in agony, they die a cruel death. And Palin even encouraged the cruelty by proposing a $150 bounty for the severed foreleg of each killed wolf, and then introduced a bill to make the killing easier. Do we really want a vice president who champions savagery? Defenders of Wildlife Action Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I ask a simple question there is, why did they not attack you? Why did they not kill you, if you were living with them in the wild?
I think that's a really good question. I think that you can't believe enough to think that you can walk into any wolf pack and come out completely unscathed. These guys, as I say, they are very serious about what they do. But they do respect family, and I think that was the thing, to establish a family position with them, to get them to think that they need you as much as you need them. And once you've established that, then, they are quite forgiving in what they do, as everybody else does, but they are quite forgiving.
Before the wolves turned up, they'd been absent for 70 years. That the numbers of deer, because there was nothing to hunt them, had built up in the Yellowstone Park, and efforts by humans to control them. They'd managed to reduce much of the vegetation there to almost nothing. They'd just grazed it away. But as soon as the wolves arrived, even though they were few in number, they started to have the most remarkable effects. First, of course, they killed some of the deer, but that wasn't the main thing. Much more significantly, they radically changed the behavior of the deer. The deer started avoiding certain parts of the park, the places where they trapped most easily, particularly the valleys and the gorges. And immediately those places started to regenerate. In some areas, the height of the trees quintupled in just 6 years. Bare valley sides quickly became forests of aspen and willow and cottonwood. And as soon as that the birds started moving in. The number of songbirds and migratory birds started to increase greatly. The number of beavers started to increase because beavers like to eat the trees. And beavers, like wolves, are ecosystem engineers. They create niches for other species. And the dams they built in the rivers provided habitats for otters and muskrats and ducks and fish and reptiles and amphibians. The wolves killed coyotes. As a result of that, the number of rabbits and mice began to rise, which meant more hawks, more weasels, more foxes, more badgers. And bald eagles came down to feed on the carrion that the wolves had left. Bears fed on it too, and their population began to rise as well, partly also because there were more berries growing on the regenerating shrubs. And the bears reinforced the impact of the wolves by killing some of the calves of the deer. Here's where it gets really interesting. The wolves changed the behavior of the rivers. They began to meander less. There was less erosion. The channels narrowed, more pools formed, more riffle sections, all of which were great for wildlife habitats. The rivers changed in response to the wolves. And the reason was that the regenerating forests stabilized the banks so that they collapsed often, so that the rivers became more fixed in their course. Similarly, by driving the deer out of some places and the vegetation recovering on the sides, there was less soil erosion because the vegetation stabilized that as well. So the wolves, small in number, transformed not just the ecosystem of the Yellowstone National Park, this huge area of land, but also its physical geography.